Well, good evening. To continue the conversation from yesterday where I was talking about how the room that I normally record in is very bright. In other words, there are lots of reflective surfaces. Well, in this room, it's equally so. I don't think there's anything here to absorb the sound. And yet the violin sounds very nice in here. Sounds good. That's because this room is not terribly large and the reflection of the sound is such that I think it's slightly improving, it's modulating the frequency coming from the violin, slightly improving the sound. So what the science is, I'm not too sure, but it certainly sounds nicer in here. It's a bit like playing in a hallway, if you like. I've also been asked about violin bows. It was Marcia who asked this question. And do I have a favourite bow? Well, in answer to your question, yes. It's this one. It came with this violin. I think it's a French violin. It's one that I got from a gentleman in Leek, Staffordshire, who repairs violins. And this was for sale in his shop about maybe 8 or 9 years ago, and he recently rebuilt it because the glue had come apart. I put some information on my Facebook page about the cracks that had appeared in this violin quite a long time after I'd bought it, many years after I'd bought it. I just guess it's natural wear and tear, and the top had started to come away from the side. Anyway, I took it to the violin maker in Leek, and he repaired it. He put some sort of strengthening on the actual top of the violin where there was a crack, which I can hardly see now. I don't know where it's gone. He must have made a good job of that. That seems to have gone. And he also re-glued the top onto the side. Has it affected the tone? I think it has. It sounds a little bit more harsh now than it used to. So consequently, I don't tend to play this as much as a lead violin. I tend to play this more now when I play dual violin, 2 violins together. I like to do that a lot. I like to record myself playing the same tune twice on 2 different violins because it seems to make the tunes project well beyond other instruments. But this is what it sounds like anyway. It's probably still got a little way to go to settle back down, probably a few more months hanging on the wall, and then I've no doubt that the tone will mellow down slightly. But that's something that seems to happen with fiddles. They seem to adjust themselves to the environment and settle down again after a period of time. Now this is the J. Haid that I put new strings on a couple of days ago. And that's using this favourite bow. Why did I put new strings on? Because the other strings that had been on this violin had been on for a long time. And in quite a few of my recordings on videos and things, I was noticing I was getting those squeaky noises. I think they call it wolfing, when you get a sort of whistling sound on the E string. So I put it down to the bow initially, and then having purchased a new bow, this one from eBay for the princely sum of £18.69. It's a carbon fibre bow. It feels great. It feels great. It's horsehair, of course. So having purchased that from eBay, I realised that it was actually the strings that were probably causing the problem, which is why I eventually replaced them a couple of days ago. And yeah, the problem seems to have gone away now. So if you are getting a little bit of sort of screechy noises coming out of the violin, and you don't put it down to your actual playing skill, then it might be that you need some new strings. Bear in mind that those strings prior to that had been on for well over 2 years. They do seem to last a long time, fiddle strings, unlike guitar strings, which only seem to last a couple of months at most. But anyway, getting back to bows, this one is a carbon fibre, £18.69. I've just popped onto eBay a moment ago and I see the price has shot up to £31. Well, I think you'll find if you shop around you'll get one at a reasonable price. Anyway, just have a question of looking around, and that included the cost of postage as well. It's quite worrying really how cheap things coming from China are. Yeah, it's very difficult for anyone in the UK or America, I guess, to actually manufacture bows or violins, handmade ones, and compete with the Chinese imports. But that may not always be the same in the future, perhaps. There might be a change in the way that economies work. But at the moment, getting back to bows, this one is my favourite. I didn't pay anything for it. It came with this violin that I got from the guy in Leek. It's called a Barzoni. It said it's Barzoni, but I think it's one of these companies that imported loads of violins at the turn of the century, 1900s, and just put their own name on it, basically. But it's quite a nice violin. I think it was owned by a classical musician, and it seems to play quite well if you were a classical musician, a violin player, and you're going up the neck a lot. That seems to be where its strength lies. But the bow, the gentleman who sold me the violin said, "Oh, I'll put you this old bow in." And lo and behold, this old bow is this one, and it's my absolute favourite. I love it. Why do I like it? Because it's light, it's got a great feel to it. It looks a bit beat up. The end seems to be worn away. The silver tip has come off there at some stage. I don't think there's any maker's mark on it that I can see. The winding remains intact, but it's well tarnished, very tarnished, that winding, probably through years of use. The horsehair is not gripping as well as it should now. If I do that very lightly on the bow, there's a slight bit of whistling. If I do that on the new bow, that's a good way to tell if the bow is wearing out. If you just press very gently or hold the bow slightly off the string and just gently press the bow down, if you get that sort of whistling sound, I'm applying exactly the same amount of pressure there. So this bow definitely is a newer bow, and the horsehair has far more fibres sticking up. I guess this has played so many good tunes over the years that the horsehairs have finally worn down. But in answer to the question, yeah, this is my favourite bow. Why? Because it's comfortable to use, it's fast, it has a good feel to this particular when I play with this particular bow on any of the violins. So there we go, another chat. I hope you don't mind me using this time to post these videos. They seem to be quite good fun actually, and if you have any more questions, it's a nice easy way for me to answer any queries that you may have. See you again soon. Take care. Bye bye now.